The word zombies has become poisoned in recent years. I understand why writers began avoiding the term like the plague. There was so much zombie-related media that you needed unique terminology to make your project stand out. Some of these were fine, like infected and walker, while some were the worst synonyms I've ever heard, namely freakers from Days Gone. I mean, that's got to be the stupidest zombie name I've ever heard, like it's if we called demons burners. But when I heard Frank proudly scream the word zombies in a terrified manner, I can't deny that it stirred something in me that evoked a sillier tone. I liked how it communicated that this game was supposed to be a parody of zombie media, how it lampooned the idea of a horrific apocalypse and replaced it with a nonsensical comedic romp using the living dead as a setting. But that's not Dead Rising's only satirical bite, as the game is clearly a parody of America, as its psychopaths ruthlessly mock the deranged cliches that are associated with Middle America. Dead Rising is a game with almost no subtext, as it blatantly tells you the core message behind its story, as the progenitor of the plague hilariously asks, "Why must Americans consume so much beef?" There's wearing your message on your sleeve, and then there's tattooing it on your forehead. And there's something so refreshingly honest about how unashamed Dead Rising is. I'm so used to racking my brain trying to figure out meanings and the secret message behind games for this channel. And after playing a game so blatantly corny, it's a nice change of pace, although I do admit it makes my job even harder, as it means I have to push even deeper to find some sort of niche meaning or opinion that would be worth making into a video. Hence this meta-commentary about how Dead Rising hides nothing, also why this video is shorter than my others. By Dead Rising calling them zombies, it signifies that the game isn't fussed with a heavy-handed narrative. It's not trying to dress itself up as a serious psychological thriller about being trapped in a location with hordes of the undead. Actually, the term undead brings up a good point. A few months ago, I made a video about how Resident Evil 4 had the best zombies in gaming, and many commenters took umbrage with how I described them as zombies. The argument is apparently that a zombie is a reanimated corpse, and that any kind of zombie that originates from an infection isn't a zombie, but referred to as an infected, which is why The Last of Us uses that term. But if that's true, then not only does Dead Rising not have any zombies, but Dead Island, Dying Light, and Left 4 Dead don't have any zombies in them either, but instead they have infected. And I think we can agree that's completely insane. A zombie should just be a living creature that has had its free will ripped away from it, turning it into a husk that follows its basest instincts to feed and spread its infection. Limiting things to only the living dead means that the genre becomes muddled with all these subcategories of what does and doesn't constitute as zombie media, and it's that exact frame of mind that Dead Rising is telling us to shut up. It proudly proclaims itself a zombie title, despite the enemies actually being infected and simply going insane rather than undead. Yet the game still calls itself Dead Rising, because it has no time for pathetic semantics about what does and doesn't constitute a zombie. Dead Rising is an ode to a time when games weren't ashamed to declare themselves zombie games without worry about semantics or trying to be more artistic by giving them a fancy name. Where the apocalypse wasn't some kind of dystopian nightmare that made its characters struggle with the mortifying reality of their situation, but just gave us kooky weapons and said go kill some stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love that video games take themselves more seriously now, but it's so rare for a game to be so proudly stupid like Dead Rising, with no regard for modern vernacular, and to vehemently declare itself a zombie game. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's that video where I talk about why Resident Evil 4 has the best zombies of all time.